Hey runners, welcome to the Oregon Brewery Running Series show. My name's Nathan Freeberg. If you're a runner, if you're a lover of beer, if you are a lover of things, all things Portland really, or Oregon or whatever that is, this show is for you. Today I am talking with Gleb Velikanov.
It is me.
Is that right?
Good enough.
Good. How do you say it?
Velikanov.
Velikanov.
It is a mouthful. I have
Sorry
to.
about that. Okay. Close enough, I guess. We're talking about things ultra. Gleb is an ultra runner, a marathoner. He's run something like 22 marathons.
Just about, yeah.
Is that right? 21?
5 or 6 ultras.
5 or 6 ultras. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the physical demands, the mental demands, all of those things, as well as we're going to talk about beer and some other fun stuff. Before we get into that, I want to let you know of 3 announcements for you. 1, register for one of our spring races. If you're looking at our bottles here, they represent the brews that we're going to be at. So on May 20th, we are going to be at Base Camp, and you can get the S'mores Stout. This is
wonderful brewery with
great beer.
Actual s'mores in the beer that they serve.
Exactly. You can get a little marshmallow right on the top of it. May 20th, we'll be there. May 27th, we will be at Lompoc. You can get a C-Note. You can get... Well, they have tons of beer. The Lompoc is one of my new favorites.
the Lompoc Strong Draft.
That's a good one, too. That's a good one. That's up in North Portland. Then on June 3rd, we're going to be at the Commons Brewery, which is a couple blocks from the Morrison Bridge. Another great brewery. They have one of the coolest spaces in town. Have you been there?
A while ago, but
okay.
yeah.
It's very unique. I like what they've done. It's like an old warehouse or something that's very a lot of brick and other stuff. And then, of course, at Ecliptic, and this is what we're actually drinking right now, the Carina Peach Sour.
Delicious.
Which is delicious. And so register for one of those events. If you use the discount code, get this, GLEB, one word, G-L-E-B, because that's this guy's name.
Golf Lima Echo Bravo.
GlebFREE, so G-L-E-B, free, all one word. The first 5 people who use that will get a free entry to any of these events.
Lucky people.
Yeah. And if you use GlebFREE, not that there's more than one of Mr. Gleb, you'll get $5 off. So if you don't get into that first round of free entries, you can use GlebFREE and get $5 off.
Well, that is a deal. That's
pretty cool.
Steal.
Yes. So that was the first announcement. The second announcement is that we're going to be sending out a bunch of stuff, not a bunch of stuff, but through our website and our blog via email. And so if you already are on our email list, update your preferences and tell us if you actually want that. Don't unsubscribe, because if you unsubscribe, you won't get any event information. But you can say if you want to get those or not. And in those, we include interviews and running tips and all kinds of stuff. And the third thing is just go out and be active today. We want to encourage everyone to be active, to get active, to stay active, rest maybe from time to time.
But get the blood flowing and the limbs moving.
And just go for it. It's very good for you. So let's jump into this hard-hitting interview, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to take a drink of this first. I think we need to drink.
Cheers.
What was the name of the race that you just did?
I did the Tillamook Burn 50-miler.
The Tillamook Burn 50-miler. Mm-hmm. So congratulations. You finished it in 10 hours?
10 hours and 15 minutes.
10 hours, 15 minutes. How are you feeling today?
Good.
Yeah? All right, interview over.
Yeah. Goodbye, folks. No, I'm feeling, I'm not as sore. In fact, as you mentioned, Nathan, 22-ish marathons, 5 or 6
a lot.
ultras, and 2 through hikes into my, hobby career.
Yes.
My body has gotten so much better at recovery. Mm-hmm. I remember my first marathon back in 2004.
2004, huh?
2004. It was the Spokane Marathon in Spokane, Washington.
All right.
I was sore for, I am not joking yet, a week and a half or 2 weeks. Like, I did the whole walking downstairs backwards, just being sore. Now, today, after a 50-miler, I am fine. I can run. Like, I'm going to...
It's crazy.
Probably do a run later on today.
And it was less than a week ago, right?
It was on Saturday.
Okay, so about a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got a little upper respiratory...
Yeah, I got sick to the point where I had to stay home and lay down, which is not surprising. I've gotten sick a few times after distance events or endurance events, because your immune system just gets kind of stressed out.
Right. Well, it gets overworked and taxed. And
Yeah. So I did a little bit of coughing, but
which is something you don't have to worry about in a 5K fun run necessarily.
You do not. No. You just kind you kind of have a good time and follow the course and enjoy your beer afterwards.
So Gleb, here's my first question for you is, so I've done 7 marathons, coming up on 8. I've done countless half marathons. So I get like that idea of pushing your body, seeing how far you can push it. But how do you get to the point of wanting to push it, from 26.2 miles to a 50K, a 50 miler? Have you done any hundreds?
I have not. That is something that I've for a while I focused on road marathons.
Okay.
And just now I started focusing back on trail ultras and ultras. So we shall see what the future brings. But to answer your question,
how do you get there? Like, I can't imagine going that far. Like, maybe start at the beginning of. Did you just wake up and day like, I'm gonna go do 50 miles?
No, it's not that much.
How do you get there mentally?
It's not that much different from a person deciding to kind of get off the couch and maybe sign up for a 5K fun run.
Yes, that's a start.
Kind of well, I've been sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and playing video games. Let me do this thing. I get a beer afterwards.
Sure.
Chances are, and I'm speculating here, that this person would want to maybe do a 10K next, maybe get into a half marathon, and push themselves to do a marathon. Same thing with
an ultra.
Yeah. I just saw that there were trail 50Ks and 50 milers and 100 milers, and it would just be fun to see what your body and mind can do.
How did you get into it though? Like, what was the? Did you see a flyer and just thought that was interesting? Did you have some friends that were doing it?
I do believe that I was...
Tell me the story of how Gleb became Mr. Ultra.
I was like 18 or 19 in college.
Oh, okay.
And I was going to go hit the gym with my roommate.
Okay.
Just kind of get buff for the ladies, work on the bone density.
How's that going for you?
I am...
Sorry, awkward question.
I am running marathons still.
You are, yes.
Yeah, no, it was the late 90s, and getting buff was the bro thing to do.
Is it not still the bro thing to do?
It is absolutely cut off shirts and everything. But my roommate was kind of a lazy person.
Okay.
Which probably the laziest person in Whitman County in eastern Washington.
Okay.
Which would place him pretty high in the running for laziest person worldwide. But
what's that saying about Whitman County up there?
Win or lose, we drink more booze, go Cougs, that sort of thing.
That's a thing, all right.
Yeah, but so my roommate was like, "Man, I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to go to the gym.
Like why
don't we?" And there was a thing, a poster kind of collage thing for the Portland Marathon that someone did back in the hallway. He was like, "Let's train for a marathon. So let's not go lift weights. Let's go run around the track 10 times."
Because that's about all you need.
Yeah, that's about all you need. And so he never ran past those initial 10 laps.
That was it?
That was it. And here I am, 18, 20 years later, still running marathons and kind of caught on.
So after that, so was Portland your first?
No. That was Spokane, Washington. But Portland Marathon, and it was so nice to get a marathon PR this last October here in Portland.
That's right.
Because it was the thing that started it all.
Bringing it home, bringing it back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So are you from Washington originally, or were you born and raised?
Well, I was born and raised in the evil empire, the Soviet Union.
Yes.
To quote our former president, Ronald Reagan. In what was called Leningrad at the time.
Okay.
My folks and I moved here to Vancouver, USA, just across the river.
Right. Almost Portland.
Almost Portland.
We have a lot of fans in Vancouver. And if I keep looking at that, I'm just making sure that this is recording. I see comments here. So I think it's good. A lot of your friends. So Vancouver, you came to Vancouver?
And went to high school there. Went to college at WSU in Eastern Washington.
Okay.
Just mere 8 miles from Idaho.
Wow, that's out there.
Yeah, it's pretty far. You drive east until you smell it, and then
fan
you
mail.
drive south until you step in it.
Nice. So now, do we know for sure if you're not a Russian spy?
I've been watching The Americans on
FX?
Amazon. Yeah, FX. Yeah. So
great show.
I've always seen myself as Carrie Russell a little bit.
Okay.
Since Felicity days.
Right.
Really, that would be my stage persona.
Yep.
But and I mean, she is a great marks person.
She is.
She can shoot whatever out of the sky.
Master of disguise. She can seduce anybody, much like Gleb.
I do.
I mean, that's part of the prerequisite of a spy.
I'm pretty good with like electronics and tying knots, so maybe.
So he might be a Russian spy. All right. So you're born in Leningrad, Russia. Moved to Vancouver. Did college in Washington. Moved back to Portland.
Yep.
Started your life on this marathon journey, ultra marathon.
Absolutely.
Journey. How do you train for an ultra?
It is so the first. I guess I've done a couple of 50Ks, which are pretty much longer.
Those are pretty easy.
Yeah, well, they're like, they say that they are like a long marathon.
Okay.
And the trail pace is pretty relaxed. But
a 50K is 32 point
something to that
something
effect,
miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just over
That's
30.
nothing.
But the first real ultra I've done was the 2007 Comrades. It's called Marathon, but it is indeed 89 kilometers, 56 miles in South Africa.
Which is brutal. It's like in hot.
It's warm. It's like Central Oregon ish.
Okay.
Yeah, like that sort of.
Lots of hippies and.
Well,
stuff like that.
not a whole lot of hippies, but there's like.
Yeah, I know.
And
there's like lions and tigers.
Yeah,
and
and humongous spiders.
Right.
Oh man, we caught a big one in our hotel room at one point in time. But I used the Hal Higdon.
He has an ultra plan?
Yeah, actually for Comrades.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a lot more. LSD, long slow distance.
Lots of long slow distance.
I am completely a believer and follower of that. That if you pound the miles and put the volume in, you will do just fine.
Wow. That's probably true in just about any distance, right?
Huh. Very true. Yeah.
So when you talk about long slow distance, so we've talked about this before. You're doing these long runs, and it's not. Well, anybody I've talked to who's done an ultra says it's so different from training for and running a marathon because you kind of don't care about pace, right? Is that partially maybe some of the real competitive guys like yourself possibly, but
no. I'm still just a gentleman out there trying to have a good time.
10-hour race, but you're going quite a bit slower per mile, and that's what helps it not feel like death.
Right. It depends. Like this last year, I had a really great year of running where I had a PR marathon and a PR 50 miler.
What's your marathon PR?
3:17.
Oh, nice.
I mean, there's folks that are,
that's fantastic.
There are 2:30 marathoners out there that we rub elbows with on a daily.
Parenthetically, are you going to watch the?
Absolutely. 8:45. I am queuing that up.
You knew what I was going to say before I even asked him. The Nike attempt at going sub 2 hours in the marathon. Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Very exciting and interesting for us running dorks.
Yes. But we digress. So you I lost my train of thought. What were we saying? Oh, your time in the marathon.
I ran a 7.5 hour 50 miler this last October. Autumn leaves. It was flat as a pancake.
Sure.
But times, your personal times really don't matter. I am, and I hate to sound like a cliche, but I am only competing with myself. Yeah. And it's like more of like kind of a Japanese Zen thing.
Sure.
Where I don't need wealth or, albino tigers on platinum chains. That sort of thing. But
wait, did you see my garage? Is it
I'll take an albino tiger on a platinum chain if you have a spare one.
Okay.
But like improving yourself, kind of like that is a very achievable thing, and it is while if you act as a contributing member of the society, you vote, recycle,
right,
don't stab people type of thing.
It's setting the bar kind of low there, but I get your point.
Yeah, it is so nice to because improving your times or having a good race doesn't really cost much.
Right.
You just
a little bit of time.
Running shoes and shorts, socks type of thing. But it's not like a humongous boat. It is not a timeshare in Cabo.
Right. Which would be nice.
Right.
Maybe, but worth the Tiger.
Yeah.
So do you do this? Do you go ultra? Is there a term? Going ultra, running ultra, pushing yourself far.
There you go.
You mentioned this at the beginning. Is it all about sort of that mental state of is it a focus thing? Is it a avoid distraction thing? What is kind of the mindset of someone that embarks? It's definitely a little bit of crazy.
It is. It's almost you, and as a runner yourself, you probably know the feeling of wanting your run, needing your run, and you need your fix. I mean, it's almost
it's like a drug.
It is like a drug in a good way.
In a good way, a good drug.
In a way, oxygen is a drug. Like you're gonna die without it.
That's true.
Or a good steak, or any, or for those of us that are vegan, vegetarian, a good tofu steak.
There you go.
But it feels good to nourish your body. So it feels good to. I do believe. I read a translated autobiography of Gandhi, and back in his, violence resistance, kicking out the British Empire days, he also stressed the importance of regular physical exercise. And I do believe he was a walker, but he pretty much said, get your bum out there and exercise regularly for health and for a clear mind.
So what do you think about when you're running for 8, 9, 10 hours?
I personally,
or maybe what don't you think about? Because you probably go through the spectrum of.
I get into like this almost meditation thing where I've come up with good creative ideas or business ideas or just it is a stream of consciousness,
interesting
brainstorm type of thing. I have literally gotten done with a training run.
Yeah.
And wrote things down on a piece of paper and used it.
I imagine there's some element of that where you've got to capture it, otherwise it's gone forever, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Is that something that you train for as well, or is that just a byproduct of the running part of the training, that the mind gets trained as well? Or do you do any sort of actual meditation, like sitting down when you're not running, or how do you?
I probably should. But I do not know.
Heard it's good. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I don't either. But
yeah, no, it's too. I do think that there are folks out there. It's kind of like there are people who are endurance athletes. There are folks that are football, basketball folks. There are more like yoga, concentration climbing folks.
Sure.
And it is, while I can use yoga or strength training to make my running and ultralight backpacking stronger, it is not my thing. Like, I have to actually make myself do it. Going out for a run is easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how we find those things in life that are so difficult for other people, but are just like second nature for us. And like, why aren't other, and vice versa? Like, what's hard for you might be easy for me, and easy, etc. What do you think is the biggest challenge for people to either try to do an ultra race, if any? 26.3 miles, because I think anything longer than the marathon is technically an ultra.
Yep.
Are there hurdles if someone, would want to do that you've seen maybe other rookies kind of get tripped up on and stumble and not be able to do it because of?
Other than your basic level of fitness, where a person can hurt themselves physically training for a 5K.
Right.
I think time management is the number one hurdle, at least for me. Like, just making sure, and I'm certain that I speak for all you folks out there that run,
everybody who has ever run in any capacity.
Yeah, getting time, you learn to kind of make time for your run and balance your life, and having,
or hopefully you're balancing your life.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we would be talking about complete craziness if you don't. But yeah, you that's just kind of make sure that you have time, and you have a pair of running shoes in your trunk, type of thing, a change of clothes, and
go from there. Huh.
Absolutely.
Well, so it's not all that much different than training for a 5K. It's just more time,
a little bit
more distance, a little bit more
volume.
Mental. So speaking of time, something that whenever it's come up in conversation, I'm fascinated by. You have hiked the Pacific Crest Trail,
Trail, and the Appalachian Trail.
And the Appalachian Trail, which, so what's the soundbite? Describe it for someone who doesn't know what that is.
Awesomeness.
No, like they're very long hiking trails that go from Canada to Mexico. The Pacific Coast, right?
The Pacific Crest Trail goes from Mexico, from the border with Mexico at Campo, California, to Manning Provincial Park in Canada.
Okay.
Through California, Oregon, Washington, and the AT, the Appalachian Trail.
And how many miles is the Pacific?
2,600.
2,600 miles, okay.
And then the Appalachian Trail goes from Springer Mountain in Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine, and that one is 22-ish hundred miles.
Oh, that's short.
They change the distance every day because they reroute it.
Why doesn't it start like at the Florida Keys?
Oh, there's a historically, it's the grandfather of all long-distance trails.
Okay.
So there is a way to connect this thing called the Florida Trail, and you can go into Canada, but historically it's from northern Georgia to central Maine.
Gotcha. And you have hiked both of these. Mm-hmm. And the Pacific took 4 months?
4 months and a week, and the AT took 4.5 months.
Wow. In another life, I would love to do that, because I think that... Well, so tell me, what is that like? Just like in a nutshell, maybe summarize a day.
Different
hiking,
dimension.
Eating, bathroom, eating, hiking, sleeping.
But
repeat.
It is so therapeutic and so nice to kind of experience. It would be like going into space, maybe. Because
what do you mean? Let's expand on that.
Different, like so much different from what we are used to. You know, you can sleep anywhere.
Sure.
You can pee anywhere. You know, hopefully not on someone or in a source of water.
Glad you clarified that.
But you meet people from all kinds of different walks of life that become your buddies. You have a clear goal that you're striving towards, and that is either Canada or Maine.
Sure.
And you have such a sense of purpose and such a you develop this sense of self-efficacy when you start hammering out 20, 25, 30-mile days.
Wow.
And it is kind of like running. You get like that neurochemical satisfaction of yes, I'm
dopamine's firing and all that.
But put that together every day for 4 months or more. Most people take 6 months to do it, and
that's wild. I can't imagine. You did one of them by yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Which one? The
PCT.
And the other one with
a former partner, and it was a great time.
Wow. And I remember you telling me that when you did it by yourself, you're an obvious extrovert, or maybe not. It seems like you are. You get energy from people. Very easy. You told me like all these people you'd meet along the way and just hang out with and camp with and grab a beer with because you're stopping in all these towns. Describe the family that emerges, because I've read some other stuff about it too, that you even if you're solo, you don't feel like you're alone.
Absolutely.
Because is there heavy traffic on these trails?
There's up to back in the day it was about 500 people a season that tried the PCT.
Okay.
I think it may be up to 1,000 now, and then the AT is crazy just because. So the attrition rates are flipped. Let's say 500 or 750 people start on the PCT.
Okay.
75% of those make it. On the AT, 5,000 people start, and only 25% of them make it.
Interesting.
And just because folks are not as outdoorsy out east, and like there's a lot of like expectations, and folks are not. But you meet people, your trail family, other thru hikers. After a while, you get to know pretty much all of them, so you will always have someone to have a meal with in town, or split a hotel room, have a burger.
Do you end up like traveling together, or do you?
And it's like super
this big pack by the end of it, or how does
it is this super awesome, no strings attached social interaction where you don't really owe anything to anyone, and you know that if you take off or someone else takes off, you will see them eventually. So
there's no like, all right, goodbye, I'm gonna leave. It's just you just go and keep on about your journey?
Yeah, you can totally do that, and you will see each other in town and share a beverage.
So this is the part that I didn't know when you talk about town. I just assumed, because I've been on, I think 4 days is the longest backpacking trip I've been on. So when you talk about 4 months, I'm like, good night. But it's not, you're not always roughing it. Like you're on all these towns every few days, every week, something like that.
Let's say every 5 days.
Okay, to restock,
every week.
Shower. So it's not quite as, not to take anything away from it, but it's not like you're in the wilderness for 4.5 months.
No. You get plenty of civilization
Right.
just because you have to kind of jump from town to town to resupply with food.
Because it would be hard.
Yeah.
And you do that ahead of time, right? You mail yourself stuff along the way. And
Yeah, what I did is kind of a combination of the two. I mailed myself stuff, and I also just bought things that I wanted.
Tell me again, because you said you could go into any 7-Eleven and get supplies
Resupply for a week.
Yeah. So what is that? I love this list.
Now I do go stoveless.
Yes, which is also impressive.
But it was a natural transition when I was on the PCT in the Sierras. I was so sick of cooking, and I had a little alcohol stove and a little pot that I made my dehydrated meals in. I got so sick of cooking it, wasting time, cleaning it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it, I'm going stoveless. So now when I go,
great.
in fact, tomorrow when I head out to the gorge, I have goldfish crackers, jerky, string cheese, dried fruit,
awesome.
like figs and dates type of thing.
Yeah.
I have emergency powder vitamin thing.
Okay.
Chocolate, and I think gummy bears.
Wow. That's not much. Do the other guys, Kyle and Nolan,
they're
going with you, right?
Yeah.
Are they eating the same thing, or are they bringing?
Yeah, they're kind of. So I'm thinking about doing some fast packing with them this summer.
Cool.
So they're kind of drinking the Kool-Aid, wanting to kind of see what it is all about.
Drinking the proverbial Kool-Aid. You don't actually bring it. So I keep glancing over here to see if anybody comments, and someone did.
Oh.
I'm supposed to ask you about your trail name. Is that a story?
That is that's a great story.
Okay.
So my trail name
is it appropriate for this is a family-friendly?
It's drugstore.
Okay.
But here is the way that I got my trail name. This happened back in 2010 on the PCT.
Okay.
So Cajon Pass is where the freeway that goes from LA to Vegas kind of goes through the mountains, and there's a McDonald's and a Chevron station and a hotel there. So I was 30 miles out, and I was hiking with this crew from Connecticut somewhere.
All right.
And they were past AT hikers, and we decided to hike through the night to make it to McDonald's to get a Big Mac, because the hiker hunger just gets you.
How many calories are you eating per day?
Well, you can safely or effectively haul maybe 2,000 calories a day, but you're burning like 6,000.
Right.
You lose a bunch of weight. So,
but you're not eating to replace it then. You're trying to eat 6,000 a day, or no? You are.
Well, no, you can only haul about an average of 2,000.
Okay.
So when you get into town, you'll eat like 6. I mean, and there's only so much that your stomach can hold
and handle before you start puking it back up.
Yep, has been done. But anyhow, so these kids and I decided to hike all the way to Cajon Pass, 30 miles away.
All right.
Or I guess we were 15 miles in. We had another 15 miles. And before I left for the trail, I went to my PCP and got like every imaginable med. I got elevation sickness meds. I got Giardia meds. I got just over-the-counter aspirin. I got caffeine pills because
you never know.
And you don't want to make coffee or I just had Vibrins. So I had enough ibuprofens. Right. I had enough ibuprofens and caffeine pills for everyone. And that's how I became drugstore.
That's awesome. So do you still carry that with you? Like someday at like a PRC run on a Thursday night, I'm like, Gleb, I got a headache. Will you have something?
Absolutely. Talk to the drugstore.
I appreciate that. Good to know. That's awesome. So Gleb, in these notes I sent you, I said I'm not sure exactly what I want to ask you about kind of this whole adventure without spending 10 hours, but I figured out. So here's what I'm curious. So what did you take away from the experience of hiking 4.5 months? Do you apply to your everyday life, and what can we kind of glean from that wisdom? Is there anything that like epiphanies that when you're out there and things are just stripped down to the bare, simple survival, really, that you're like, when I get back to Portland, to the real world, I'm gonna make sure that I keep doing this thing that I learned on the hiking these through hikes?
Absolutely. And I hate sounding like a cliche and a broken record.
That's okay.
But it is self-efficacy.
Okay.
And I guess maybe emotional endurance. in the sense that you know what you're capable of,
Sure.
what you can do, and then you just kind of, and I guess too, maybe kind of illustrated with my experience on the PCT in Washington. The last 21 days of the trail were wet. It rained and it was cold, and it was pretty miserable. But the one thing that I took away from that is, that emotional endurance, that no matter how crappy you may feel now, if you just kind of pull yourself together and get through it, it will get better.
Yeah.
Whether you hate your job or a particular project you're working on, you're painting your house or working on the backyard, you just keep
Raising
putting
children.
One foot in front of the other, and Junior will go off to an Ivy League institution and we'll take care of you
in
however many years.
No retiring home. Have you ever heard the book Grit?
That sounds familiar.
So it's basically, I'm trying to remember the author. Angela Duckworth, maybe? I don't think that's right.
That sounds familiar.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of that book, is basically that talent doesn't matter. It is your ability, your grittiness of how you get through things, how you keep working hard, how you pull yourself up. And that's, she's I think Harvard PhD with tons of research. And so it's cool that you experience that, which is scientifically proven to be true.
Yep, absolutely.
Is the CDT next?
The Continental Divide Trail?
Yes. Someone else asked that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm like a creature of habit, and I would almost rather, I guess, to answer that question, I honestly have thought about hiking the PCT and the AT back to back before I do the CDT.
How would you get over? Fly?
Yeah, I think it would be doable if I start in Campo, after the Mexican border, kind of late enough in the season where when I get to the Sierras, the snow is gone.
Sure.
I think I would be able to finish the PCT in about 3.5 months.
Okay.
Then I would fly to Maine, start at Mount Katahdin, and southbound the AT.
Wow.
My understanding is, and I've asked other thru hikers and I've done some research, the CDT is not 100% complete. There's a lot of road walking and some route finding.
That's not fun.
And then also, the worst of it all, there are alternate routes that you have to pick. And I'm a creature of habit. I like following
You just want to
the
go.
markers. Yeah. Kind of back to that endurance marathon ultra thing. Testing, instead of trying to please yourself with the views or whatever, I am pleasing myself with the notion that I am giving it my 80, 90, 105%.
Gotcha.
Following this route.
Do you have well, so backing up to the emotional thing, I love that. I think that's so good because going back to the book and back to what you said, I think sometimes people get, I don't know, too hung up on perfection or meeting some unrealistic expectations when, maybe it's just finishing what you started and just sticking with something. It's cool how our events are all 5K fun runs. It's pretty laid back. It's untimed. But for some people who have never run before, that may as well be a thru hike. It may as well be an ultra marathon.
100-miler.
Yeah, in their mind, it's just as big. And I think one of the cool things about running, or I guess endurance activities in general, is you kind of get all those different skill levels, just different goals. It's kind of the same thing. But is there a hike that goes from, what was the town in Mexico? What did you say? Campo?
Campo.
No, Campo to Maine? A diagonal U.S.
There was a gentleman, a fairly famous thru hiker that he hiked one and then rode his bike to the other.
Okay.
There is a...
Who is that?
It is this gentleman
Forrest Gump?
named Adam Bradley, or Crudmeister.
Okay.
He held the...
Do you know this? Do you know this fellow?
He held the... I have never met him in person.
Right.
I've met him in the blogosphere, Instagram,
yes,
Twitter, that sort of thing.
The good old blogosphere.
Yeah. Nice gentleman. He held the fastest known time for unsupported or a self-supported
Okay.
PCT through hike until this lady named Anish broke it, and that's a whole world of things.
Yeah. Well, I'm not an ultra person at all, but one thing I've heard from you, from other people, is that the ultra community is very different than, let's say, the road running community.
And I do think I have heard that thing.
In a good way. Do you agree?
I do, but also, yeah, I do. It is different, but the road running community is also nice.
It is. It is very nice.
It is not all, jerks that are hell-bent on their split time.
Yeah,
like look at our PRC runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice folks. Yeah, no, there's, so for example, at the Tillamook Burn 50-miler, so I had Nolan and Kyle and my buddy Clifton come with and support me, and there was like a nice fireplace, and they drove, like there's one central aid station, and folks were just hanging out and having cold ones and shooting the breeze, and
just you'd zip by and they'd be like, hey, see you later.
Well, I'd get like my potato chips or gels or whatever.
What do you normally eat on those races? Just little stuff like that? Or I've heard some people eating pancakes and like big stuff.
It's doable. I saw a guy pounding a beer 12 miles in. Yeah, some people do that. You do need a little bit more substance, a little bit more fat. You don't want to go too heavy on the fat because you'll get GI distress. So I've some fruit. I had a little bit of jerky for protein. Okay.
Do you eat just like traditional goos and chews and Gatorade and
absolutely.
all that stuff? Okay.
Yeah, water and but just a little bit more substance.
Sure. Okay. You kind of answered this earlier, but I want to come back to it because I might be asking for personal reasons. Do you have any advice for someone who might want to tackle their first ultra? Like what's the first step? Just get out there and do it, or is there any like knowing what you know now, you'd maybe do this differently for your first one?
Just get your bum out there and do it, because you just need to get some distance under your feet.
Okay.
Just get that LSD, long slow distance, and
long slow distance.
Yeah.
All right.
Just make it a habit, and you'll be fine.
How many days a week do you run?
5, 6.
5, 6. Okay. Oops, that's doable, and that's when you're training. 5, 6. Okay.
Yeah. No, I do
some
2
doubles
days.
though.
Yeah. And especially when I was more free as far as professional pursuits.
Right. You've recently taken a day job,
which was tough. Like to like if I want to do a double, I literally have to wake up at 5 a.m. or earlier.
Welcome to my world, man.
Yeah. No, I feel like, and that's something that we all have to do. And coming back to that thing where it becomes your second nature, I'm not complaining about it. I'll get up at 5.
Yeah.
Get up at 5, grab the dog, go for a run, come back, shower, go to work, and you do get like the dopamine shot. Once I have my egg and bacon sandwich and my Rockstar organic recovery drink, I get to work.
The day is looking up from there.
I am happier and chipper, and I show up to work, and I'm, hello, chickens.
I'm
ready to work.
Exactly. And it's the whole thing is a lifestyle. Like you have to sort of reorient your entire life of when you go to bed, when you wake up, what you eat, all that stuff. But that's part of what I think people love about. I mean, that's true of even just shorter distance races.
Well, and I guess we're talking about the sense of purpose.
Yes.
What I was telling you about how on during a through hike you have a sense of purpose. I do believe running, and it doesn't matter whether you're doing a 100-miler, 50-miler ultra, a marathon, or a fun run 5K. It gives you like that sense of purpose.
I'm doing
that you
something.
Have something that you have.
So sorry to interrupt. What happens when you're done? Are you like, now what? Like, is there any like sense of letdown for months and months? You thinking a through hike or even a 10-hour ultra, like you're done. Do you wonder now what? Like you've had such a singular focus for so long.
Sort of. I think you do learn to manage it. That kind of post-event blues.
Sure.
Like right now, I am so like this week. I don't think I've run. I went to the gym. I skipped out on PRC yesterday.
Yeah. As did I.
I think I may run tonight.
Okay.
But I'm really embracing just being able to sit down and recover. And I'm going to do a lot of ultralight backpacking this summer.
Right. Hopefully, I'll be able to join you on some of those. I need to get out and do.
We're going to do Timberline Trail or the Three Sisters. It's going to be awesome.
That's fun.
And we will see what the future brings. And just you kind of sign up and start training for a race.
So is it a matter of once there's a FedEx truck?
Nice.
Once you're done I'm easily distracted if you haven't noticed. Once you're done with that monumental goal, is it just a matter of, all right, signing up for the next thing and just not sit on it too long? And
I feel as if it's about taking it one step at a time and just kind of like seeing your recovery, getting those projects at home done, or
going back to real life for a little bit.
Seeing that as training, seeing that as your purpose.
Sure.
And, like I am very much looking forward to working on my backyard.
I still got to come see that. I've heard some good things about it.
It's you better come soon before it gets finished. It looks like a war zone.
Really?
Cardboard. Half of it is covered with chips. Half of it is cardboard.
Okay.
Cardboard to kill the grass.
Oh, you want to kill the grass?
Yeah, I'm killing the grass and putting
why?
Wood chips and native shrubs.
Oh, so there's faster ways to kill the grass than cardboard.
None of which would fly in the inner city.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to use the chemicals.
That's good of you. Thanks for.
I don't like being called a hero, but
you are my Earth hero. Well, without getting in too political, we need more folks like you. Anyway. Okay, Gleb, I want to switch gears a little bit.
Let's do it.
I told you this would be about 30 minutes, and we're almost at 45. I want to do kind of rapid fire, but not necessarily rapid. Okay, so I have a list of favorite Portland things.
All right.
And so I have a couple on here, and then I'm going to see what other ones I can come up with.
Okay.
And again, you don't have to rapid fire. You can take a beat. But what is your favorite Portland beer? Or Oregon. Let's say Oregon. Favorite Oregon beer.
I mean, that's like beautiful children that you cannot choose between. I mean, honestly, I should say Widmer Hefeweizen because it was like the original, I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
I've had a Basecamp makes some good beers.
They do.
Mount Tabor Brewing has been making some really good beers. Their Little Drummer Boy beer is good. Mazama Brewing is good.
Okay. Mazama, where's that? I've not heard
it is in like Salem.
Okay.
Another good one is Caldera Brewing's ginger beer.
Okay.
That one is from Ashland.
All right.
But I have a soft spot for ginger. I guess Northwest beers in general, Elysians, Jasmine.
It's supposed to be your favorite, not a whole list of top 10.
Well, they're beautiful children that I'm
trying
to.
Fair enough. And I love asking people that question. I mean, I couldn't. I have no favorite beer. Do you have a favorite brewery? And just the first one that comes to your mind, you're like, not necessarily because of the beer, but maybe the whole environment, the vibe, the food, do you have one you like going?
Oh, man, anything that is in this town, really.
Yeah, it's kind of do you have I won't ask that. I was going to say an unfavorite brewery.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right, what is your favorite place to eat that is maybe a little on the fancy side? So it's not something you just pop into for lunch and grab something.
I had really good food at Ned Ludd, just around the corner from my house.
That's up by you?
Yeah. Just I can walk there.
Oh yeah, I guess it is up there. Okay.
Ox is another good one.
Ox is a very good one. Okay, what's your favorite quick eat place in Portland?
Burgerville, of course. Like if you're like on the run.
Yeah.
Lardo is good.
Lardo is also good. Yeah. So are burgers kind of your?
I like a good burger.
Okay.
Steak is good.
Okay. What is your favorite donut place?
I was just talking to folks that were visiting from San Diego, saying, "Do not go to Voodoo. That is so cliche." Blue Star is good. Coco Donuts is good.
Coco, of course, one of our partners this season. Yep, Coco is very good.
Mm-hmm. Around the corner from me as well.
Yes. Are they really?
Yeah. There's a few.
Up on so they're up on Williams.
Yeah, Williams and like Skidmore.
Yeah,
Schaefer's,
somewhere up,
something like
up
that.
in there. What is your maybe you can say a couple of them favorite places to run, like running routes? If you're getting
Forest Park, hands down.
I should have said besides Forest Park. That's always everybody's answer. So
Waterfront, I like. Okay. Marine Drive is a good one. Actually, Marine Drive.
Where's that?
It is just along the Columbia, north of the airport.
Oh.
The only downside is that you have to pay for parking.
Oh.
But it's like $250 or something like that.
Still.
But it is a nice. You can patch together a nice.
Yeah. How long is that trail?
Well, it's technically a part of that 40-mile trail I go, but then you have to run an airport way if you want to get to Mount Hood for a little bit.
Okay.
So you can do like a nice 10-ish. It's like 5 miles each way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should go out there. It's pretty flat, right? Is that?
Yeah. It's right there by the river, so and nice. You can run as fast as you can, or as fast as you want to.
What's your favorite Portland neighborhood?
Boise Elliott, where I live, of
where
course.
You live, of course. I thought you were gonna ask that. Okay, follow-up question. Why is that your favorite neighborhood?
Because I am making it better every day.
Okay, let me ask a different way. Why did you choose to live there?
I have been around that neighborhood since 2008, like renting rooms, that sort of
It's
thing.
probably changed a lot in almost a decade.
Holy
absolutely.
Cow. So much growth and development. And whenever it came time to become a homeowner, I wasn't even thinking about anywhere else.
Interesting. Okay, that's fun. This is maybe an obvious one. Favorite Portland running store?
So many to choose from. However, I must say that deep down in my heart, I'm partial to the Portland Running Company.
Oh, interesting. I'm surprised by your answer. No.
Yeah, but it's kind of a dark horse, but just the people.
Yeah,
and,
it's a good place.
Yeah, good folks.
Yeah, portlandrunningcompany.com. What is your favorite Portland race? And I'm thinking of something that is somewhere in the city.
The marathon, of course.
Okay,
I do believe that the Portland Marathon is my favorite marathon that I have run ever.
How many different ones have you done?
Well, I've done Portland 5-6 times, and Seattle, and Music City, and Ljubljana, and Slovenia. And
so you have a few options to choose from. You're not like...
Yeah, no, Portland is hands down the better.
Why is that your favorite?
Just because it is a manageable course. It's fairly flat. The only big hill is St. John's Bridge.
Yep.
And it's well organized, and just awesome.
Okay. What's your favorite You've done international marathons, right? Do you have a favorite international?
Well, Comrades was big. The Ultra.
Okay.
I guess the only other international was Ljubljana in Slovenia, and that was interesting. Like, it's folks still run, but it is just different over there.
All right. How
They
is it different?
serve you chocolate at the aid stations.
Like chocolate?
Like a broken up bar of chocolate where you get a square.
Is it dark chocolate, like good chocolate, or is it like
it's
a Hershey bar? Yeah.
Well, it's like their version of the Hershey bar, and that's
which
good
is delicious and amazing and interesting.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're not running? This is like a hobbies question.
Yeah.
Or working.
I try to...
Or killing your grass.
Right, yeah. I try to get into like kind of sustainability and green living, and I keep I planted potatoes this spring already. Like, I need to weed the other planter boxes and kind of have my kale and that sort of thing.
Wow. Are you gonna start a CSA?
Not yet.
That'd be fun.
So I clog people's fridges with decaying produce.
Here, take this. I don't know what to do with it. That's awesome. We were in a CSA once before we moved to Portland, and I swear it was like these boxes just full of kale. It was like more kale than you could possibly eat, and it was just like, I want a little more variety. So we didn't do it the next year, but anyway,
you got to use stuff up.
Yeah. What is, and this is going to be the last question here. What is your favorite Portland thing? How's that for broad? Why do you like living here? Let's make it a little bit more specific. Why do you like living in Portland, Oregon?
I'll answer your question precisely.
Okay.
My favorite Portland thing is when people use indoor furniture as outdoor furniture without batting an eye.
People use indoor furniture as outdoor furniture. Okay.
And it is just... Like, I do like the spirit of the city where...
I love how quickly you came up with that answer.
Well, that's my favorite thing. Like, the relaxed...
That's awesome.
I would never live in New York City or, St. Petersburg, Russia, or London for that matter. I like the fact that I can roll around in Carhartts and running shoes, and
That's exactly what you're wearing on running shoes, by the way.
They are.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. Well, Gleb, I've kept you here longer than I said, but this has been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.